Hello again, everyone. We've got new cards. Whoa. New cards. Let's take a look at them. We've got an archetype and just some one-offs that I didn't have, like, there wasn't enough cards to really put in anything else, so they're going to be in this video along with the new archetype. So yeah, here's the new archetype. Bow to the authority of Silenforcer. Terrible name. Hopefully that's not what sticks. I hope they do a better job of making a name for this archetype. Sure, okay. So this is retrains of a bunch of old ass cards that were terrible, and this is going to be trying to make them not as terrible. So let's see how they do. First up, we have a level 1 light fairy monster with 2050 defense. 2050, what a great number. You can only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can place one Silenforcer continuous spell or trap from your deck face up in your spell trap zone. Okay, that seems alright. If you would ritual summon exactly one light warrior or dragon ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, you can use this card as the entire requirement. Seems alright there. If a light warrior or dragon ritual monster is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Wow, this one seems pretty good. Like if we're trying to do, you know, making ritual monsters better, this is a pretty good card for that. Saphira, the wise Silenforcer queen. So this is the a retrain of the Saphira ritual monster. You could discard this card, send one ritual spell from your deck to the graveyard, and add one light warrior or dragon ritual monster from deck to hand, or graveyard to hand. Interesting. You manage this card for your graveyard, ritual summon one light warrior or dragon ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your field or hand whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Oh, okay, so this, after you discard this could just be a ritual spell. Cool. But it specifically requires you to send a ritual spell so that you're not only playing this as your only ritual monster. That's pretty good then. I think this is a pretty good card. Saravus, the sagely Silenforcer dragon. Yeah, this is the Saravus retrain. You only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second effect once per turn. You can special summon this card by shuffling 2 spells from your hand or grave into the deck, including at least 1 ritual spell. That's not particularly good. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can return this card to hand, special summon a light warrior or dragon ritual monster from your hand or deck, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase of the next turn. It's not treated as a ritual summon, it doesn't look like. This one does not seem particularly good. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it's very good. The other two seem like reasonable. This one seems very unreasonable. Alright, so here's our new ritual monster. Skull Guardian, the Silenforcing Protector. You can ritual summon this card with Silenforcing Prayer. You can only use the first and third effect once per turn. This card is ritual summon. You can add one Silenforce monster or one warrior or dragon ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Sure, that allows you to keep going with summoning the old ritual monsters. Gains 200 or 2050 attack while Novox the Silenforcer disciples on your field or in your graveyard. Alright, so it gets pretty big because it already has 2050. When your opponent activates a card or effect and you control Novox the Silenforcer disciple, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card, and it's less once per turn. So you get a negate if you have the other fucker on the field. So that seems all right. You have to play Novox. I don't Novox that card. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. It doesn't have a image. Oh, wait. The Silenforcer Disciple? Oh, this one. Oh, that's why it summons itself back from the grave. Because it wants you to have it on field for the negate. Okay, alright. So you can either use it to extend and get one of the other ritual monsters, or you can use it to get the negate. Okay. Alright. I see now. That's less good, I think, actually, because I would rather extend more and have the negate. I don't know. Silenforcing Prayer. You'll use the second effect once per turn. Ritual summon one light ritual monster from your hand by attributing light monsters from your hand or field whose levels equal or exceed the ritual monster. If a face-up light ritual monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon a Saravis, the Ancient and Ascended, Saphira, Queen of Dragons, or Skull Guardian, the Silent Enforcing Protector, from hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So that seems alright. The graveyard effect means that when you send it off of Saphira, you get an additional ritual summon, basically. You're not actually ritual summoning it, though. Saravis, I believe... Yeah, so it's talking about the original Saravis. I believe that's a hand trap, too, so that's actually, like, a decent one to play. Silenforcing Barrier. You'll use the second effect once per turn. When you control Novox, the Silenforcer Disciple, or a light ritual monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target non-ritual monsters for attacks. Also, your opponent cannot target light monsters you control with card effects. So this is one of the cards you can place on the field with Silenforcer Disciple, Novox. Which means that you can use her effect to get her back on field, and so you can just have her on field, and then your ritual monsters cannot be targeted for attacks or with card effects, which is pretty good. Or any light monster can't be targeted with card effects, which I believe includes Novox. During a main phase, you can add one Silenforce card or one Skull Guardian ritual monster from your deck to your hand, except for Silenforcing Barrier, so that lets you get more card advantage. This one seems pretty good. I think this is what you're going to be adding to the field most of the time, unless you draw it. In which case, you'll be putting this one on field instead. Silenforcing Authority. Use the first effect card name once per turn. During the main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Shuffle a Light Warrior or Dragon Ritual Monster and one... Whoa, okay. Shuffle one Light Warrior or Dragon Ritual Monster or Ritual Spell from your hand or grave to the deck. And if you do, take one Silenforce monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Okay, well that's like... Alright. That can get you Novox if you don't have it already, but it's also a continuous trap, so you only want to play it if you have Novox. You can use it to get this fucker, Saravis, without having to use its shitty special summon effect, which might be good. Target a card your opponent controls up to the number of Light Warrior and Dragon Ritual monsters you control, and destroy them, and then also destroy this card. Yeah, this one seems like a one of you only play if you've already got Silenforcing Barrier on field, I think. If you in hand, I mean. If you have the Silenforcing Barrier in hand, you use Novox to get the continuous trap instead. Because this does not seem very good otherwise. This is like an attempt at making it good, but I don't think it makes it good. It's just not enough, for sure. I think they could have done better. And I don't think this is really playable at the current format. It certainly makes it better than it was, for sure. In limited, this might go crazy. But yeah, I don't think this is good enough. Unless there's more coming. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, next up we have a new Ixies monster, a new Dragon Ruler. Blaze, Supreme Ruler of Dragons. We have an Ixies Dragon Ruler in order to take the place of Dracosac, which is the other Ixies Dragon Ruler that's not actually a Dragon Ruler. But this one actually is a Dragon Ruler. It has two effects. You can only use the second effect once per turn. And the first effect starts with once per turn, so I don't know why it doesn't say you can only use these effects once per turn. Anyway, whatever. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, destroy one card in your hand or field, and one card your opponent controls. So that's like pretty good. This is like really good in some decks and okay in other decks. In Dragon Rulers, this is like okay. Like funnily enough, I think this is actually better in other decks besides Dragon Rulers. This would go crazy in Dinosaur, except for the fact that you can't make a rank 7 very easily in Dinosaur. I don't think you want to try and make a rank 7, and besides you have plenty of ways to destroy cards in Dragon Rulers. Does Unchained have level 7s? I think they have level 8s, so I don't think they can make this either. And they also have plenty of ways to destroy cards. It's not like they need the help. But the fact that it says one card instead of, you know, one monster means you can destroy spell traps too, and that's, you know, and trigger their effects. Ancient gear? I don't know. You could banish 2 dragons or fire monsters from your hand or graveyard. Special summon this card from your graveyard, but return it to the extra deck when it leaves the field. So it has the dragon ruler effect to get itself back from the grave. So that's pretty cool. Considering that this is a fire one, I imagine we're going to be getting a one for each of the other attributes. And we'll see if they have like different effects as well. They probably should have a different effect up here. The first effect should probably end up being different. And they're probably going to be based on the effects that the monsters have, because this one is based on the effect of Blaze. I think that's the name? Blaster? No, Blaster. Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Fire. And that one is you discard it and another dragon or fire attribute monster. I believe that's how it goes, and then you can destroy a card on field. So this one, it's non-targeting destruction, which I guess is also good. But this one, instead, you destroy a card in hand, which, you know, can trigger some effects, which is pretty neat. Definitely better, but it's harder to get out. Is this good in Kashtira? I don't know. I feel like Kashtira has better cards to go into. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they come up with for the other attributes, though. Like the Redox one is going to be good, and the title one is probably going to be good too. The water and the earth ones, I imagine, are going to be pretty strong. But yeah, we'll see. I can see this one being good. I could go either way on this one. It has potential. All right, and for our last one, we have a new Fire King card, True Fire King Ponix, or Legendary Fire King Ponix. This one has 3 effects. Holy moly! You can use the first, second, and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. If your monster whose original attribute is fire is destroyed by battle or card effect, you special summon this card from your hand. All right, good start. Do we do a lot of that? Oh, is there level 7s in Fire Kings? The Scorch card, the Dragon Ruler card might be good in this deck actually. I'm pretty sure there's lots of level 7s in that deck. In this deck, I mean. All right, maybe that's what it's for. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Fire King spell trap from your deck to your hand. Pretty good. There's a lot of good ones in that pool. During your next end phase, this card is destroyed and set to the graveyard, add it from your graveyard to your hand. So then you get to get advantage on it, and because of the way it works, you can also special summon it every turn, not just your turn. So you can get a new spell trap every single turn, depending on how you play. This is pretty good. This is a pretty good one. This one might be what puts the deck over the edge, actually. This is like what they needed. They really needed like a good advantage engine. And I think this might be it. Oh man, you can like loop this too. Like if you have one of these on field and one of these in hand, and you just like are continuously destroying, you can just loop it. Because once one gets destroyed, the other one summons, and then the other one comes back, and you can destroy. And oh wow! So as long as things don't get banished, that's the thing though. It's like you still got to contend with any deck that has a continuous banish effect. Any deck that's playing Dimensional Fissure, Dimension Shifter, Macrocosmos, Kashtira, the fucking Kashtira Arise Heart. You know, any deck that has that banish going on is still gonna be destroying this deck. So, we'll see, I guess. This is a good start though. This is a good end, I guess, because we already saw all the other Fire King cards. Pretty good card, I will say. So yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes when the structure deck release. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there. Thanks for watching another video. Why don't you give it a like, share it around, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. You know, the YouTube stuff. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter for more content. I got content plenty for ya. You can also support the channel by giving me money. you have a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you can show up in the credits over here. I would really appreciate that. You could also use my TCG Player affiliate link to get any single, sealed product, or accessories that you want, all to start supporting the channel at the same time. That's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is for you. Bye now!